What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Puck Bud's 7 Up Trivia, episode number 3. You may be wondering why I'm down here and not on my perch. And that's because for today's episode, I'm going to be a contestant, and Dylan is taking his turn as Trivia Master. So if you have any complaints about the questions, direct them at Dylan. So I'll throw it over to Dylan in a sec. But first, boys, it's Thanksgiving this week. And we thought there couldn't be anything more to be grateful for than making you see our ugly smugs again. So, all right, I'm done. Dylan. Trivia Master Dylan, take over.
Yeah, so today's trivia, 7 Up trivia, is on trades and free agency, almost entirely from post 2004-5 lockout.
Oh, thank
There's
God.
a couple,
Thank
a couple in
God.
there from, what's up?
I said thank God.
Yeah, there's a couple in there from the 90s, but they involve huge name players, so that makes it a little different. The way it's set up, I believe it's the same way Tim had it a couple times. We got 4 1-point questions each, 3 2-point questions each, and then a final Jeopardy at the end, which we've done it before in this way. There's going to be multiple answers. Whoever gets more answers, they get all the points for that final.
Yeah, that's how we've done it the last 2 episodes. I think that's our standard Final Jeopardy question.
Cool. Awesome.
But let me just say before we start, I'm nervous to be on this
nervous?
side. It's
I was
like
a little nervous the first 2 times I did it too, just because it's kind of like our show, you know.
Well, it's like when you're when you write the questions, you can like put your chin up to everybody when they like get questions wrong.
Yeah.
And now that I didn't write the questions and I'm on the other side, it's like, God, am I gonna
like
embarrass myself right here? I don't know.
me looking down on you for not knowing a fact I learned yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It just seems so much.
That's gonna be me on you guys on like half of these.
Yeah, I mean, you just seemed so smart when you came up with the questions and have the answer yourself. So I don't know. Hopefully,
Alex Trebek. You think Alex Trebek was actually a smart guy?
oh yeah, oh for sure. But I
was.
mean, you just gain all this knowledge when you're the trivia master. I mean, you have to know the questions,
sure.
but still, it's like you're definitely never put on the spot the way that you are when you're one of the contestants.
All right, so going first, I suppose we'll have Steve since he's basically the guest. All right, Steve, you ready for question number 1? It is a 1-point question.
I am honored to be here again.
In November of 2005, the Bruins shocked the hockey community by trading Joe Thornton to San Jose. Name 1 player the Bruins received in exchange.
Oh my God. Oh, this is brutal.
No pressure, but I think I have all 3.
Dude, I'm drawing a blank on this. This is sad. Bruins.
It's a good question.
This is
Not a
good
layup
question.
for question number 1.
This is a good question.
I mean, you got all 3, so maybe.
Well, maybe. I don't know yet.
But no, I agree.
This is a shot in the dark. Marco Sturm.
You got it.
Really?
Yes, they were Marco Sturm. Tim, actually, you know the other 2?
Wayne Primo was one of them.
Yeah.
I think was the other one Brad Stewart.
Mark Stewart.
Okay.
All right, Tim, good one.
Oh, you mean me?
Good. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, Steve.
Good.
Tim impressed me with his little flex there too, but Steve's.
But I only got the only one that I didn't get that Steve got was Wayne Primo, which I just watched some video on the trade, like a trade tree that I like that Sportsnet or place in
as
Canada
a Bruins
posted.
fan, don't spend too much time looking at trade trees for your own sanity. The Tyler Seguin, you ever seen the Tyler Seguin one all mapped out too?
How they all
laid out?
No, God, no.
It's hilarious, but
I'm sure it's really funny. Really funny.
Up next, Tim, same deal, 1 point.
All right.
In 2010, Ilya Kovalchuk and Lou Lamoriello agreed to a massive 15-year contract. Not counting the games he played after getting traded at the previous deadline, how many full seasons of that 15-year contract did he play before leaving for Russia? In other words,
I gotta say that's way harder than Steve's. But
Oh, boo-hoo.
let's see. right, 2010.
2010. Yep. He played like 30 games before that as a deadline
Okay.
acquisition. Don't worry about those. I'm just talking about the years that he signed for. How many did he play?
Oh God. Well, they went to the Cup. They went to the Cup final in 2012. He was obviously on that team. So not including 2010. So 2011 would be the first one.
2010-11 would be the first one.
Okay.
It was in
So
July of 2010 that he signed the deal.
I'm gonna go 3.
You got it. 3 years.
Yeah.
There you go. You're right.
I
Yep.
wasn't sure. I knew 2.
The one that helps you out there is the Cup, I think, because
Mhm.
most people, I think, would know that he was on that Cup team. And then he played the following season, the lockout shortened season, and then didn't return until 2018 when he randomly joined the LA Kings, and that didn't really work. All right.
LA King, great.
Yeah.
Ilya Kovalchuk. Montreal Canadian, great too.
Yeah, he was
All-time leading goal scorer in the history of the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah. All right. So, pulling it up. This one's back to Steve. I'm impressed with your answers on the first 2, actually. It's a pretty good start.
As a guess.
All right, so this one's for Steve. He is remembered mainly as a member of the Colorado Avalanche, but Peter Forsberg played for a total of 3 NHL teams. After leaving Colorado in 2005, where did he sign as a UFA?
Oh man. Toronto. I'm another guess. Hopefully the luck continues. I'm gonna say Dallas.
It is not Dallas. Tim, you want to give it a shot?
So I was initially putting the question in my back pocket because I thought you were going to ask which teams he played for, which 3 teams. And so it's between 2. It's between Nashville and Philadelphia. I know he played in both places. I don't know which one he went to first. Oh, man. I'm gonna say Nashville.
It is Philadelphia. Nice.
All right.
You guys
All
are
right.
getting, you guys seem to be in the ballpark of all these, and then it's kind of like a little, tug of war.
Why did I say Nashville?
Yeah.
He wasn't on that. He wasn't on the team that went to the Cup in 2010. I know, no way. He wasn't on that team, the Philadelphia team.
Oh no.
So why did I
believe
convince
it
myself he
was
went to
just that
Nashville
one year.
first?
Let me check. It was he only played a total of 40 games in Philly. He didn't even. Oh no, I'm sorry. He played a total of 100 in Philly, and then only 17 in Nashville. Maybe some playoffs there too. But then I didn't know this. He went back to Colorado. Did you know that?
Nope.
He
Did
played.
not.
Yeah, he played in Colorado as late as 2010, 2011, which surprised me.
Wow.
But I think it was one of those kind of gimmick things, just take the superstar back for a little last
retirement
world
tour.
But all right, so
You could have said Dallas, Tim.
yeah,
I could have.
that's what all
What
the
hurts the
kids are
most
doing.
is being so close, as Rascal Flats might say.
All right, so now this one, this is Tim's actual question, I believe, right? Because the last one was to Steve
It was a
about.
steal.
Yep.
Going for the
All
steal.
right. Tim, who were the 2 players involved in the first and only captain for captain trade in NHL history?
Oh, geez. Let's see. I don't know. I'll just say that right away. I don't know. So I'm gonna go Martin St. Louis for Ryan Callahan.
You got it.
Yeah, I knew the Rangers traded like every captain in their history to the Lightning. So all right.
The Lightning and Rangers are huge trade partners.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dan Girardi, Vlad Nemestikov, St. Louis, Callahan,
JT
Ryan
Miller.
McDonough, all these guys, Rangers and Lightning.
They've
But yeah,
traded. They've traded. The Rangers have traded a ton of veterans to Tampa
Yeah, that's true.
for sure.
They just traded Mark Stahl to Detroit, actually. Not that he's that relevant anymore. All right, so that's one for Tim. So Tim is up 2-1. This one's going back to Steve. You guys each have 2 more 1-pointers. So Steve, since the start of the cap era, who was the first player to test free agency and make over $10 million?
Since the cap era. I feel this one's obvious, but I'm not.
I don't think it's obvious. These are hard. These are not layups.
No, they're
Two
not.
for 2, I think, Tim.
Definitely not. That was a good one you had last time, Tim. But let me think here. I want to say. Oh man,
Being pretty generous with time here, boys.
you are. Feel free
Yeah.
to call a clock whenever.
What you got, Steve?
Oh man. I have no idea. Maybe only person. This is a guess. I don't know. Shea Weber.
It is not Shea Weber. Tim?
Oh.
So,
Stump me.
do you define testing the free agent as going to a new team?
Going to a new team, yes.
Oh God, no, I have no idea.
Steve,
I
if
was gonna
that
say,
threw you off, did that have any effect on?
Well,
no, that's a fair.
it could have, but I could have also asked that question.
True. Yeah, okay.
Jeez. Okay, so 10 million. My first guess was gonna be Ovechkin, but that was clearly a re-signing. So the cap era began in 2005. So 10 million. Honestly, the only guy I can think of that signed anywhere for more than 10 million that wasn't a re-sign was Artemi Panarin. So Artemi Panarin.
The answer is John Tavares, 2018.
Oh, of course. Oh,
Wow. I didn't think it would be so recent.
Yeah,
Oh, of
yeah.
course.
Wow.
It's difficult because no one really got like 10 million. They shattered 10 million. Tavares went all the way up to 11. I feel
Yeah.
like if it was 10 million in your head, then you'd remember it. You know what I mean?
What? I mean, I know there's
I
only
just
been
remember Weber signing for a ton,
He
back in
got
the
a lot of
day.
money.
like
I don't think
13 or
there's been
something.
like 10 or 15 guys that have even gone over 10 million, which is why I was sort of thinking Panarin, but dead Tavares, that's a bad miss.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Tim's third question.
Correct.
Very similar. Since the start of the cap era, who is the player who has received the highest AAV on a contract they signed while testing free agency, which again
Well,
means signing with a new team? So
that's Artemi Panarin.
That's Artemi Panarin. You got it. All right. Once you started talking about him on the last one, I'm like, oh, he's gonna get the next one because it's very similar. All
Well,
right.
I mean, I think the only guys that have made over 10, I can't think of anybody else, are Tavares and Panarin.
For free agents,
Yeah.
no, Eric
Not a
Carlson.
re-sign.
Eric Carlson got 11.5. Although technically he was part of the. With
Didn't
my
he
definition of,
re-sign?
what's up?
Wasn't his a re-signing with
That's
San
what I'm
Jose?
saying. Technically, it was a re-sign because I think he finished the season with San Jose. But yeah, I think you're right. Then I think those would be the only two. McDavid's at 12.5, but that was a re-signing as well. All right. So this next one is for Steve, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Got to bounce back.
Yep. Roberto Luongo played for 2 NHL teams before winding up in Vancouver. The first team drafted him and traded him after 1 season. Which team was this?
Oh man. Well, I know he went to Florida. Who the fuck drafted him? I'm gonna say these are good questions. Shit. I'm gonna try to not take up as much time. Man, I have no idea. I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
Not Minnesota, Tim.
So this team had a run of really good trades in the late 1990s, which includes Zdeno Chara. It's the Islanders.
It's the Islanders, yeah.
Yeah, some big moves that
That was a bad one to miss.
GM is, but really helped out the franchise in the early 2000s. There might be a question about another guy coming
that
up.
Islanders team helped out a lot of other franchises around that
Yeah,
time.
and they hamper themselves with some other contracts that maybe we'll get into later.
Say no more. Say no more.
All right.
Say no more. Hint, hint. All right, so this one is for Tim as well.
Well, I can really put a stranglehold on this game.
Yeah, Tim. Yeah.
But there's always Final Jeopardy.
Yeah. All right, so although Eric Lindros began his career with the Flyers, he was drafted by another NHL team where he refused to play. This team ultimately traded his rights to Philadelphia the following year at the 1992 NHL draft. So what is the team that drafted and traded Eric Lindros?
Well, we already had a question about a guy who was traded for him, and that would be Peter Forsberg. So the answer is the Quebec Nordiques.
That is the answer.
Another trade tree that I watched.
That's one that people forget about. That's a huge deal. He was the #1 pick, and he just said, "I'm not playing for you guys," because his issue was that he didn't think Quebec was marketable enough, which he's probably right.
Wasn't there some worry that they were going to move?
Yeah, Canadian dollar was weak. There's not a huge market up there, like, period, I think.
Old arena, too.
Yeah, true. But, yeah, he ended up in Philadelphia, so that's...
I think the Quebec Nordiques played in the Pepsi Center, and then the Avalanche also played in the Pepsi Center. Fun fact, I think.
Really?
I think both their arenas were named the Pepsi Center.
Huh.
They're spelled differently.
So these are the start of the 2-point questions, and I really like this first one. It's a little fun fact of hockey trivia that I think very few people know. So I'll start with the part that most people didn't know.
Hopefully we know it.
What's up?
Hopefully we know it.
Yeah, hopefully you know it. I'll start with the part that, I'd expect you to know. So, as you guys, I would assume, are aware of, the Pittsburgh Penguins and Detroit Red Wings, they rematched in the Stanley Cup Final in 2008 and 2009. Marian Hossa, unfortunately, was on the losing team both times, as he originally was on Pittsburgh, but then signed with Detroit as a free agent and lost with them too. So he was 0-2. Who was the other player that had the exact same fate? He was on the losing team in Pittsburgh and then the losing team the next year.
Oh, man, I know it. I know it.
Who's this going to?
So this one, that's a good question. This one, so the last one I asked was about, it was about Eric Lindros, which was Tim's. So this one is Steve's.
Oh, my God, dude.
I like this one personally. I've been eager to ask this one. I think it's a good one.
If this is the answer that I think it is, this is extremely difficult.
It might be.
I mean, some people, I think it's this guy.
Is it? Oh, man.
This would be a doozy to start the 2-pointers.
I know.
This is a doozy. Man. Who else?
Yeah, Steve.
I don't know. Feel free to call clock whenever.
Yeah, we're definitely getting there.
Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah, what you got?
I'm gonna go with.
Let me buy
Oh,
myself. Yeah.
is it oh man, I don't even know if this is right. Is it Filppula?
It is not. Not a bad guess, though, actually. Tim, what do you have?
I think this is to the point, almost to the point of evil status. And the only reason I think I know this is because of the Hockey East trivia when I was looking it up. Is it Ty Conklin, the
Yeah, it's
backup
Ty
goalie?
Conklin.
That's
Yep.
horrible. Oh, that's so mean.
It is a little cruel-hearted seeing that he was the backup goalie. However, I thought he was a more established backup goalie, and he's well known around the league for the most part. Um,
I mean, the
if
only
this,
reason I know it, is because I believe he was the goalie when UNH was in the national championship game in '99.
I wouldn't be the one to know that, but
I think that was it.
oh, I know he played at UNH though.
Yeah.
I just found that out. Yeah. All right. Sorry,
Wow, that was,
sorry,
that was
Steve.
brutal. That was
What are you
brutal.
gonna do?
I didn't mean to slam you with the hard one, but you got to give it to Tim for knowing that because that's a pretty tough one.
I do.
All right, so this one is for Tim. Based off of what he was saying earlier, I think he might get this one as well, unfortunately. I hate to see the gap widen here, but all right, Tim. Mike Milbury is often regarded as one of the worst GMs in NHL history. Personally, I think he probably is, but let's just be nice and
I
say
couldn't
he's one
figure
of
out
the
his name.
worst.
I couldn't figure out who he was who traded all those guys on the Islanders.
So there was one move in particular that crippled the Islanders for several years after he signed this former BU goaltender to a 15-year, $60 million contract.
Oh,
Who is this goalie?
I think he went number 1 overall.
I know this one.
It's Rick DiPietro.
You got it. Man, I feel like Steve,
that was way easier than the Ty Conklin question.
Yeah, that probably
not
was.
Even.
Sorry,
I mean,
Steve.
not even that close. Oh well.
I can bounce back.
Should we make some sort of an amendment or just like keep the same
No.
thing? Like, should this next one be 3 points for Steve or?
Nope.
Nah, keep it
All right.
rolling.
So Tim,
You still got.
so Tim,
There's still what? However many points. There's what? 3 questions left for each of us. So that's 6 points. So if you swipe them all,
yeah, you guys each have
3
6
times.
potential points. Or
Both of us do because you can steal them.
yeah, we'll figure it
Still
out later. So
alive.
there are 4 more 2-pointers left, 2 for each of you, and then the final.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Okay.
there's
And Tim
4.
Tim
So-
won't bet all of his points. No way.
We'll see. We'll see based on the category. If the question
All right.
is bad contracts related to guys who played in the Hockey East, then I will bet them all.
Yeah. So I think this one is fair. This one is going to Steve. This is a little known fact as well. For the 2003-2004 season, former Anaheim teammates Teemu Selanne and Paul Kariya collectively decided that they would team up and sign together with one contending team. They ended up doing this, but they only lasted with this team for 1 year. Which team is this?
Can you repeat the players?
Yeah, so it's Paul Kariya and Teemu Selanne. This is after their days in Anaheim, but they got to know each other very well in Anaheim. So eventually, later in their career, being friends, they said, "Hey, let's team up and let's sign with this one team and try to win a cup." And they played 1 year with that team and then went elsewhere. Which team was that?
Oh man. Is it team Colorado?
You got it.
Yeah,
Thank God.
You
On
know
the
that, Tim?
board.
I did know that.
You did know that?
I did know
Yeah,
that.
they each played that 1 year there thinking, it's Colorado in the early 2000s. I'd probably want to go there too to win a cup. So that's one that I knew about it in the past, but I hadn't, kind of forgot about that one. But all right,
Yeah, I
Steve.
don't know. I looked it up because I wanted to see if they had won, if Paul Kariya had won a cup, and he had not.
He
Because,
did,
I mean, of
right?
course, of the obvious
Yeah.
off the floor on the board in one of the most famous plays in
Almost.
Stanley
Yeah,
Cup history. So,
Solani went back to Anaheim and then
Yeah.
he was part of that '06 team. Look at that '06 team, by the way. They were good. They picked up Chris Pronger for a year. They were tough too. They had Peros and Sean Thornton on the same fourth line. Like that's kind of a waste, but it does serve its purpose, you know.
How about Scott Niedermeyer being the captain? And there were so many Hall of Famers on that team that had never won a cup, and the first person he passed the cup to was his brother.
Yeah, that's a good
over
Stanley
over
Cup.
Timo Solani, yeah.
Brian Burke was the GM too. He's one of my favorites out there. Very Brian Burke team. He really liked that workman mentality with some physical players. So, all right.
Niedermeyer and Pronger.
Yeah. This next one is for Tim. All right. Patrick Marleau is about to begin his third stint in San Jose. There's one other active player in the league to have played with the same team on 3 separate occasions.
Ooh.
Who is this player and what is the team?
Ooh, let me think.
Still playing.
All right, so still playing. That sort of makes me think that he's a little bit older. I have no idea. Andrew Shaw on Chicago.
It's not Andrew Shaw. I think he has had 2 tours there. I could be wrong.
I think he has.
Steve, any idea?
Same team on 3 separate. Is it Saad?
It is not Brandon Saad, but similar guesses with Chicago. The answer is David Perron in St. Louis.
Really?
Oh,
Yep,
wow.
he was. I believe he was drafted there. Let me check. Yep, drafted by St. Louis in 2007. Really established himself there until he got traded to Edmonton for a few years. Played in Pittsburgh for a couple years, and then ends up back in St. Louis for 1 year, and then he gets taken by Vegas in the expansion draft. Plays a year there, and then St. Louis says, "No, we want our guy back," and they traded back for David Perron to get him for the 3rd time.
Yeah,
And now he's still
wow.
in St.
Wow,
Louis.
that's a good question. I knew he
Yeah,
went twice.
Yeah,
That guy's really
started
underrated.
there. Yep, started there, went back, taken in the expansion draft, went back again. So three tours of duty for David Perron in St. Louis. Good player too. He's
Oh
put
yeah,
up,
he is. He's really
played
underrated. Really underrated.
He could hit 1,000 games. He's at 850 right now. So
He's kind of been a
Alright.
fantasy dark horse. He's been a beast. Fantasy hockey.
Yeah. Is that what they say?
No, I mean I've had him like
Oh,
a
you've
bunch
had
of
him.
times, and he puts up numbers. I mean he did a really admirable job of replacing Vladimir Tarasenko last year in terms of numbers.
For sure.
He was a beast.
Yep.
He really stepped up.
All right. This next one is for Steve, I believe, right?
Here we
Believe
go.
so.
Yep.
This could be a big momentum shift.
Yeah. Oh, this could change. Yeah. This past decade has featured 3 players who have played for a total of 10 NHL teams individually. Each of these 3 guys has played for 10 NHL teams. None of them are playing now, but these guys all played within the last decade. Name one of them.
Yager.
It is not Yager.
What?
10?
10 teams. I triple checked this.
Oh, maybe I should have thought about this more. God.
10 teams?
Oh.
Oh my God. I've been riding a loud bike next to someone's window.
People around here drive shit boxes with loud engines.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't even a bike. I wasn't just saying that to buy time or anything. Let me think.
It's really not Jaromir Yager?
It is not, although that probably would have been my first guess too.
Wow, a little overconfident there.
This is wrong, but Justin Williams.
It is not.
Yeah, I
The
know he didn't
answer
play for 10.
Is Lee Stempniak, Dominic Moore, both of which played for the Bruins, and there's Olli Jokinen.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I could have sat here for 3 hours. I wouldn't have been able to get.
I think
Lee
it's funny.
Stempniak wasn't even that bad when he was on the Bruins.
I think it's funny because 2 of them had short little stints with the Bruins, and I just feel like that short little stint defines their whole career.
I mean,
So I'm just gonna
Stempniak,
read.
he was on the team when they were bad, like 15 and 16.
Oh, that
He
was a dark
alright.
time. They had
Yeah,
no
he was
identity
alright,
during
though.
that era. Yeah,
I would
like
have never gotten that. That was brutal.
towards the end of the Claude Julien era, they had no identity whatsoever.
No.
All right, this is
No.
just, I'm only going to read Dominic Moore's, but Dominic Moore has Rangers, Penguins, Wild, Maple Leafs, Sabres, Panthers, Canadians, Lightning, Sharks, Bruins, and then those were his NHL teams, and then he finished his career in Switzerland.
Well, I mean,
So-
he had a huge goal in was it 2010 Game 7 when it was the Habs versus Washington. He scored the goal to put him up 2-0 with like 2 or 3 minutes left in the third to put the dagger in the Caps. So
What
How
year was
many-
that?
2010.
Okay.
How many
Remember
teams did
that.
Yager play for? At least 7, right?
Jaromir, it's got to be 7 or 8. I'm gonna read these off. All right. It's a bad one.
I mean, I can think of 7.
Yeah, I think I probably could too, but I'm just gonna pull it up anyway. All right. So we have Pittsburgh, Washington, New York, Philadelphia, Dallas, Boston, New Jersey, Florida, Calgary.
Oh, only 9. Wow.
That's 9, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow. So Steve, that's tough.
Close.
That's tough.
That was much closer than my Justin Williams guess.
Yeah.
I think he's only played for like 6 or 7.
I'm sure you would have guessed Yager, though, if you had the first stab.
Probably. Yeah. Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. How about thinking Yager? I don't know why. Yager wasn't my initial thought.
Williams wasn't even a bad guess. I mean,
No.
No, I mean, he's played all over the place. He's played
yeah.
6 at
All
least,
right.
I think.
So this is the final one, and it goes to Tim. This is the final of the 2 points, and then
Then the final. All right.
there's the actual final after this.
All right.
So. All right. Sebastian Aho signed an $8.45 million offer sheet with Montreal during the summer of 2019. However, the deal was ultimately matched by Carolina. So, who was the last player to
Dustin
accept-
Penner.
It is Dustin Penner.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that one would stump you.
No, I don't know. I don't know why. I think
Wow.
it's because when he signed the offer sheet in Montreal, his Dustin Penner's name got thrown back around. Dustin Penner, where did he go? I
It was
don't remember where he went.
Anaheim to LA.
Okay, Anaheim to LA.
And the GM, read into this, the GM of LA was Kevin Lowe, former Edmonton Oiler, and Brian
Hall of
Burke.
Famer 2021.
Yeah, Brian Burke was the GM of Anaheim, and Brian Burke is the one guy who's all about loyalty and like never stabbing your colleagues in the back. So he offered to fight him in his barn, and Gary Bettman had to actually step in the middle. Like, not jokingly, he stepped in the middle. He's like, guys, you're 2 GMs. You're not actually fighting in this guy's barn. And Brian Burke, he swears to this day, he swears he was so down to do it, and he wouldn't have backed down.
Why didn't he just match the contract?
Why didn't he just fight him? No,
Fair enough.
he said, I've listened to him talk about this. He said that Kevin Lowe knew exactly what he was doing. Like, you got to study the other side's position, and they were in no position to give Penner that amount of money. So, all right, that's a solid one. All right, so that makes 11 for Tim. So we're
How
looking
many?
at 11-3 here, heading into Final Jeopardy.
Huh.
So Final Jeopardy typically works is you can bet up to as much as you have, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Tim would have to really miscalculate things here, but
All right.
okay. Well, anyway, regardless.
I have my bid. Regardless of category.
All right. We're here to have fun.
Yep.
So you guys are writing down your what you bet. Okay.
My bids?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'd assume I know what yours is, Steve.
I should be pretty conservative here, right?
Yeah. All right. Here we go. You guys will like this one. In 2013, Bruins GM Peter Chiarelli made the
Oh,
aggressive
God. All right, continue.
Exactly, you gotta laugh. Bruins GM Peter Chiarelli made the aggressive move to trade Tyler Seguin to Dallas. Seguin was the centerpiece of the deal, as we all know, and the Bruins received 4 players in exchange. Name as many of those 4 players as possible. One with more wins. So only the players that they got in exchange. Name as many as you can.
Do I get extra credit for saying who he got traded with?
I was gonna actually leave that as the tiebreaker, but it
Oh,
seems
jeez.
like
All
you know
right.
it. We'll see. Um,
Okay.
there were two other guys that he got traded with. The tiebreaker was gonna be who can name more of those two guys. So keep that in your back pocket. Um, but for now, just answer the four guys that they got in exchange. Steve, how you doing?
Doing all right.
Is Google working fast
All right.
enough for you?
I'm gonna be.
Call it whenever. I'm doing all right though. Still scraping the old brain.
Scraping the old
All right. If
brain.
he's got the same number as me, I'm gonna be a little bit worried. I'm pretty confident about 3 of them. I'm just gonna write down.
I want you guys to get these, so I'll be generous on time, but our viewers won't want to sit in front of a empty screen for that long. So
All right. Well, I don't think I'm gonna get this last guy.
all right, I'll have to give it, let's say, 20 seconds. All right, you got 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right. So, how does it go? Is it first you guys show how much you bet, or does that come after?
I think it does. I don't think it matters because I mean,
True.
I wrote
All
my
right.
bet down to permanent marker. So.
Steve, what do you have for your answer?
Tough showing. You want to hear my bet first or no?
All right, I'll hear your bet.
All three. I
Gotta go.
have Riley Smith, Louis Erickson, Rich Peverly. Next two I'm not too sure about, Matt Bolesky, and Frank Vetrano.
Okay, so in total you got,
I think you only got 2 of them.
I believe, 2 of them. Can you repeat them one more time just to make sure?
Ouch.
Sorry.
I'm salting it. Riley Smith, Louis Erickson, Frank Vetrano, Rich Peverly, and Matt Bolesky.
Yeah, so you got 2 of them. You were on the right track with one of them. Tim probably knows what I mean.
Okay, well,
Tim,
you
what do you have?
got. I have Louis, Riley Smith, Joe Morrow, and Brad Smith. I couldn't think of the last guy.
Brad Smith.
I
No,
don't
it was
know, it's some
actually
generic-
it was Joe Smith. No, I'm just messing with you.
No, Joe Morrow is 100%
No,
in the
it
deal.
was Matt Frazier. He's the 4th one.
Oh my god.
The
Joe Morrow was number
tiebreaker.
3?
So Tim gets 3. Steve gets 2 there. Tim, how much did you bet just for the final tally?
So I don't want to think I was soft. I bet 5 because 11 minus 5 is 6, and
Give
if
him a
Steve bet it
chance.
all, it would have been to a tie break. So I bet 5, and
So you wanted
yeah.
to be nice and give Steve a chance, but in the end, it was the worst possible ending because you ended up just getting more points and he
Well,
lost.
yeah, I wasn't gonna bet 0. That's
Well, I
no
appreciate it.
I feel like I don't want to say the final score out loud.
No need
although
to.
it is 16-0.
Oh,
16-0. All right, we're 16-0.
This is one where the score looks worse than it actually is.
I mean, that was a big performance.
But
really
that
proud
was a
of
big
myself.
night from Tim. Tim got a lot of the ones I thought were almost too hard to put on here.
I'm trying to
But
think.
yeah, so anyway, the tiebreaker was going to be who did they trade with Sagan?
So
Steve,
that was-
you actually got one of those by accident.
really?
Yeah. Peverly.
Peverly?
Yeah,
Oh
Richard
yeah, because then
Peverly.
he had his
And
whole
then there was
heart.
another one.
He had his whole heart incident in
Yeah,
Dallas.
scary, right?
Dallas,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was not long after that.
Yeah.
There's Peverly, and there was one more actually. This was gonna
Not
be the
sure.
tiebreaker.
It was funny though that they traded Rich Peverly
Yeah,
too.
it
'Cause
was
he was
some
like a decent
prospect.
third liner. He was
Yeah,
like a decent third liner, and they just were like, "Oh, here you go with Sagan. Here you go, Dallas."
they knew his heart was gonna give out. Imagine how
Hart,
cold-blooded that would be.
yeah, Hart couldn't hold on much longer being
Yeah.
in Dallas and not Boston anymore.
So the full
can
deal
blame 'em?
was Tyler Sagan, Rich Peverley, and some prospect Ryan Button to the Stars in exchange for Erickson, Joe Morrow, Riley Smith, and Matt Frazier. So the Stars were recently in the Stanley Cup. I don't know if that had any. Yeah, actually, yeah. Sagan still being on that team definitely does a lot. So I think it's safe to say they definitely won this one.
Oh, you
There's
think?
not even really much to compare it to. The Bruins have, I think, lost everything at this point that they acquired in that trade.
They lost yeah. I mean, the last
Yeah.
one that was there was Louis.
Yeah,
Louis
But-
Louis.
yeah. I appreciate Steve coming out tonight. That was fun.
Thanks for having me.
I
Those
hope
are
you
good
feel that-
questions.
What was
I
that?
love those are good questions. Those are solid
Appreciate it.
questions.
Appreciate
They
it.
They definitely weren't too easy.
I think
a lot of those I
Steve-
just knew
I
from
think
watching
Steve is
videos.
gonna put up a great fight in NHL trivia. That's
hope
gonna be
so.
a good one.
Oh yeah,
I
Only
think-
go
I
up
think-
from here.
We can yeah, we can figure that one out, but I think Tim and Steve, you guys would be better at that than me. So
I will
yeah.
say I am pretty
Well-
good at knowing just random stuff with
about
random
NHL,
guys.
like NHL,
just,
EA Sports.
just in general, like sports trivia in general, like
Oh, I
years
meant-
and
I meant,
stuff and play team.
NHL, EA Sports.
Yeah, I should do okay in
Yeah.
that.
I bet you guys. But yeah, I like all
Like,
the
like the
quirky
Joe
little fun
Morrow.
things.
Joe Morrow. That's the most random thing ever. I don't even know if he ever played in.
I think he played a
Boston,
handful
but
of games, but
I think
the
he was the
Bruins have had a ton of guys that play a handful of
He
games.
was supposed to be a prospect, and he just never panned out. I think they traded him to the Penguins.
I want to say Mora was like the 7th defenseman that year.
Yeah, he played a little with the Bees, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Let me check this out right now.
But I can only go up from here. Feel a lot more confident in the NHL trivia.
For sure. Yeah, no, I think you would definitely beat me in that, no question. I do play
Well,
a
we'll have
good
to
amount of
see.
NHL. What's
We'll
up?
have to put it to the test.
Yeah.
Square
Yeah,
up.
real quick, Joe Morrow played, let me see, 65 games in Boston over the span of 2014 to 2017. So
Okay, that
the
makes
most he played in the
sense.
season was 33 games.
I have a
Okay.
question for you guys.
What's up?
In my 5 seconds of research, I found a pretty interesting fact. What year did the NHL or the PA or whatever come together to allow players to test free agency market?
Was it 1992?
I'll wait for
That's what
Tim
I-
to answer before
That's
release
that's
it.
about when I would guess, or in the 90s. It's a
There was
lot
a
later than I
players'
think.
strike. There was a strike put on by the players in '92. It wasn't a lockout. They wanted. I know increased licensing rights was the main thing, but I don't know if that was part of it. That's a good question.
1973.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
Wow.
way off.
I think that was in the early days of the union under Alan Eagleson.
Yep.
I don't know if you
Wow,
guys know
that's-
that the guy who started the union ended up. He was in the. His name was Alan Eagleson, and they eventually inducted him to the Hall of Fame, and he ended up getting caught on like millions and millions of dollars worth of fraud, and just all white collar crimes. So
Jeez.
he's no longer in the Hall of Fame, and he was imprisoned for a little while.
Wow.
And yeah,
Even the food.
so that's the guy who started the PA. But
Don't
he
commit
was one of
fraud,
those
or they'll
guys
kick
who
you out
was
of the Hall
really
of
good
Fame.
with money. You know, he was really good at getting his way, so he wasn't even bad as head of the PA, but he knew so much that he kind of used it for, illegal things, stole a lot of money from players and such. But yeah, that's a good
Bad.
question, Steve. I wouldn't have guessed 73.
No, I wouldn't have either.
Yeah, I saw that.
Actually,
I did a
That
quick
makes
Google
a lot
search.
of sense, Steve. You know why? That's when the WHA first opened up in 72. And part of that, the reason that league was there was because they felt they were getting screwed over by the owners in the NHL, because they kind of were. They
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
salaries weren't even disclosed until that recently in the 90s, I think. So players, they wouldn't even know how to negotiate.
Yep.
They didn't know
It's
what the
crazy.
market was. But yeah, they're doing pretty well now. Obviously, it's taken a step back with COVID, but
Oh, I actually have one more. It just came to mind. What is the only team that Gretzky signed to as a free agent? It's
New York
easier.
Rangers.
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
I
one's
was thinking
easier.
it's either that or St. Louis, and he definitely wouldn't sign as a free agent to play in St. Louis over
No.
New York. So, yeah, that time in St. Louis he was captain. They made him captain right away.
Yeah.
But
Short-lived though.
Gretzky, dude, I could do a whole episode on him. 2,857 points.
I wouldn't do
Imagine
that well, I don't think.
2857, and that's only regular season.
I know a couple fun facts about him, like him and his brother hold the record for the most points by
That's
two
Yeah.
Dylan's
brothers.
favorite trivia question.
Yeah,
His
that's my
favorite
favorite
trivia
trivia
question
because he played.
without
Yeah,
either
Yeah,
that
it was,
or who's the best Bruins defenseman of all time, awards wise, which is
no,
Paul
I
Coffey.
phrased it in a certain way where it was like because you could answer or Bork, but I phrased it in a way that the right answer technically was Paul Coffey, but that's technically,
Yeah. So if you ever want to make Dylan smile, you ask him which brothers lead the NHL in scoring history and who's the best Bruins defenseman of all time based on like awards or something.
Yeah, he got a whole 4 from his brother in 13 games, I believe. So,
Yep.
Yeah, well, hey.
you guys
got
got
that-
anything to finish up on?
Let me know when you guys want to do NHL trivia, and if
Yeah.
you guys want to compete against each other, I can try to think of something.
Or pond hockey too is coming up soon, hopefully.
And yes, very much so. Pond hockey, Tim. We got full sets of pads if you want to throw on the steel toe boots and get
Oh, yeah.
diddled.
Steel toe
Flop around
boots,
like
nice
flop
idea.
around like a fish.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, I saw a picture of a cowboy boot with a holder built into it. Like it was an actual skate, just the cowboy boot. It actually looked pretty seamless too. It looked pretty sleek. So we'll see if some of the boys would be willing to do that. Tim, if you have an old pair of sneakers or something, we'll just
Yeah,
Put
maybe
a
we'll
little
put it on
holder
the
and a
maybe we'll
blade
put it on
on.
the channel.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Tim,
Oh.
you wanna take us out?
I was a little bit nervous. Shouldn't have been nervous. Happy
Ouch.
with happy. No, hey, I did okay. Happy with how I did. And this was fun as always. I love trivia. So we'll see you again in the next episode of 7 Up Trivia.
Awesome.